Am I missing something? Is this how girls take photos of themselves in the bathroom now with their leg up? I mean, I don't know anyone that does that. Am I just getting old, or are these people extremely ballsy? You know the joke was coming. It had to come. Toxic masculinity is something that I have yet to touch on, quite possibly because I've never wanted to touch any of it. Lesbian joke, haha. But just because I don't want to have sex with men doesn't mean that men or masculinity is evil. And of course, where there is toxic masculinity, there is also toxic femininity.
Lie, lie, lie. I'm So, what is your gender? Hey, lady, hey, sassy lady. Where that butt going? Lady. Come here, little girl. I'm gonna shit all over that little girl. You whore. You whore.
Calling someone a whore and screaming at them because they misgendered you is toxic. Masculinity isn't actually what people hate anyway. In fact, the far left doesn't hate masculinity at all. They love it when females transition to appear male. They love it when non-binary people are more masculine presenting. And just the opposite is true as well. They love when males are more feminine presenting. So the question is, what do they actually hate? Is it the whole cis straight white men thing all over again? Probably. It's not about masculinity. It is about who holds the power in the world. Remember this chart? This is how a ton of people think at the moment. I mean, did it used to be this chart, and did we figure it out and fine-tune some things that weren't okay? Yeah. But now all they've managed to do is create an entire new hierarchy system, and the bullied have become the bullies. This is also not the answer. I found this video recently and I wanted to share it with you because it explains my current feelings about all of this.
Feminism started out as women's rights, and now it has skewed into something entirely different than what it was.
Are we going too far? Did we do this and all the rest of that instead of being angry?
Now it's morphed into something that's more preaching like a superiority over men kind of stance. Like I work with some people who would consider themselves heavy feminists, and they are constantly dogging on men, and they openly say, I hate men.
I would say that as long as men are alive, feminism is always going to be relevant.
Why?
Because men.
It's like today we're more polarized than ever before. And if men and women can't get along, it can only hurt society.
There's a big difference between being pro-women and being anti-men. We don't need a negative to make a positive. But also, dressing like this and trying to enter women's spaces, also toxic. Stop doing it, please. Just stop. But is this toxic masculinity or toxic femininity? Honestly, I don't even know if it matters at this point. I just think it's fair that we call it toxic. Feeling entitled to a space that isn't meant for you, toxic.
I remember one time I was using the bathroom. I got out of the bathroom and washing my hands. This lady walks in and she looks at me and she's like, is this the men's bathroom or is this the women's bathroom? Bitch, is this anatomy class or are you trying to share piss?
Wanting to be the first trans woman to get pregnant so you can have an abortion and be the first trans woman to have an abortion, also very toxic.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included, and I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Do you remember the days when men and women, no matter what side of the political aisle they were on, were all about protecting the children? What about the children? I am pro-choice. I've always said that, and I probably will always be pro-choice, but this is just ridiculous. What happened to safe, legal, and rare? Now it's entitled, narcissistic, and toxic.
I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will have as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
Clearly this person thinks this is a gotcha moment, but how? So what is this really all about? Is it about males who are men being masculine? I mean, we already established that the far left doesn't even think masculinity itself is a bad thing. So why is it only toxic when males who are men exude it? Because Western society is still very much on this I hate everybody that is cis, straight, white, and male train. Seeing how much society hates masculinity in men, it is no surprise that testosterone levels are down. Men are castrating themselves. Because of all of this constant hate, I can see why more men are identifying as queer, non-binary, as feminists, fourth wave feminists, whatever it is now, when they are probably actually none of those things. Testosterone levels are the lowest they've been in 50 years. The truth is, weak and feminized men are easier to control, to manipulate, making society extremely vulnerable to tyranny. This is why anybody who even speaks remotely against any of these crazy leftist ideas is automatically considered a racist, a misogynist, a bigot, a homophobe, a transphobe. This is a problem that we can no longer ignore, which is why I am so glad to be partnering with Black Forest Testo Stack this video. We are bombarded with estrogenic chemicals from plastics, crappy food that the government allows, and sedentary lifestyles. The mainstream media loves to demonize heterosexual masculine men, calling them toxic. They constantly promote the gays and traditional non-masculine behavior while silencing people like Jordan Peterson. Testosterone levels have a 17% drop among 60-year-olds in 2004 compared to 1987. Sperm count and strength in men have a 32.5 decrease in the last 50 years, and researchers, rightfully so, are calling this all extremely alarming. From an evolutionary point of view, of course. Black Forest Testo Stack is the ultimate testosterone supplement combining turkesterone, Sistanch, and Tongkat Ali to boost your testosterone levels and to reverse the effects of feminization. Black Forest Turkesterone is a natural anabolic compound that supports muscle growth, improves endurance, increases strength, lean muscle mass, and aids in fat loss. It is like steroids without the nasty side effects. Although turkesterone is non-hormonal, it can also be taken by women. For the ladies, I recommend Black Forest's Sistanch Tubulosa. It is a natural, non-hormonal supplement that can help improve energy levels, boost the immune system, and support healthy aging. If you want to start taking control of your life and your health, check out Black Forest supplements, and don't ever let anyone tell you that being confident, strong, and masculine is a bad thing. I'll have that link in the description below along with my code. Please support companies that support freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and companies that support you and this channel. Masculinity is not a bad thing. Males are biologically supposed to be more masculine. They're meant to be the protector, physically the stronger one. Can too much masculinity be toxic? Again, it depends on how you define masculinity in the first place. And again, it depends on how you define toxic behavior. I have seen more toxic traits come out of the LGBT community as of late, more than ever before. More than the straight world. Yes, even minorities, even trans people. Look at this headline. Male sex offenders faking trans identities to move to women's prisons. As if we didn't say that this would happen. It is happening. It will continue to happen until we put an end to this ridiculous, toxic behavior. Now, in saying all of this, that doesn't mean that women don't sometimes have it harder than men, and sometimes men have it harder than women. Should men be allowed to cry and show emotions? Of course. Should medicine and safety features be more aware of women when creating these things? Also, yes. In the same way the LGBT community went off the far deep end, which obviously gave new light to people like myself, Blair, Marcus, Buckangel, there is a huge masculinity damage control movement currently in the works. People like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro are blowing up. And even though I disagree with some of what they say, I completely understand why they're saying it. It's time to reclaim your masculinity, become the best version of yourself. Make sure you go and check out Black Forest supplements. Once again, the link is in the description below. Stay strong, stay informed, and continue to fight back against those who are trying to manipulate us. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, love you, love yourselves. Bye.